So at first, it was almost like a joke here that we could go ahead and lose Brian Callahan just because of how bad our offense did this year. But now every day as it passes, there's actually a potential we might lose him. Because now the Falcons have requested to interview him as their head coach. And that means the Falcons, the Titans, also the Chargers and the Panthers, all four teams wants this guy as their head coach or potential head coach, depending on who else gets interviewed. So, yeah, and this is like really early in the process. We're 11 days out of the season ending, and we already have four different teams who want him. So, chances are, and at first I thought it was kind of like more like a joke. I took it more like a joke because our offense did so poorly this year. I was like, oh, yeah, nobody's going to want him. No, everyone wants him. Nobody wants Lou, but everyone wants Brian Callahan. So, if that's the case, listen, if that's the case, it is what it is. If he leaves us, he leaves us. But the question is, though, who do we go ahead and go pick up? Now, my guess is, if I had to 100% give a prediction right now, I'd say we just elevate Dan Pitcher and he becomes our OC. That's kind of what we talked about last year. I know some guys commenting down below in my comment section said that too. They just hire within. They just promote within, and that's pretty much that. But I like to go ahead and talk about it in the video just in case we don't do that and look at who's available. Who could we potentially get? The first guy is an absolutely no. This is a no. This is Greg Roman. Now, if we want to run the ball, we actually could go with Greg Roman. But no, we're absolutely not going Greg Roman. Now, we all know our real offense coordinator is simply just Zach Taylor. That's pretty much that. But no. Absolutely no. Second one is Frank Wright, who is a former Panthers Colts head coach. He was, I don't know. Eberflus was Wright's defense coordinator for 4 seasons before being hired by the Bears. Eberflus was in place before Wright was hired as Josh McDaniels' pickup for defense coordinator. Moved that the Colts GM Chris Ballard played as an influencer role. McDaniels backed out of the Colts coaching job, but Wright was still kept by Eberflus. And it's obvious. This article right here is like different players that the Bears could pick up, different coordinators. I'm just using it as an example of who's available. Frank Wright, I mean, I don't have a problem with him at all. He was actually the quarterback coach, I believe, with the Eagles, I want to say, and he's the one who developed Nick Foles. I could say developed. He was on the Super Bowl run that helped Nick Foles go win the Super Bowl. And a lot of people consider the whole, Super Bowl won by the Eagles in 2019 as he's the quarterback coach. He helped Nick Foles become that Linsanian run. So he definitely has a lot of, qualifications about him, I will say. And there's definitely some positives in that aspect. Potential free agents. The Commanders' offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. I've heard, horror stories about this guy. He, if you guys do not know, used to be the Chiefs' offense coordinator for the longest time, and then he left and went to the Commanders, and Commanders last season, offense wasn't, the greatest. Definitely had a lot of struggles this year, but at the same time, he is a good offense coordinator. It's just, according to what I've heard, he is, in tool bag to work with. He's not a nice guy. And again, you don't have to have a nice guy at head coach. Problem is, with the culture Zach Taylor has built here in Cincinnati, it would be difficult for us not to have a guy like that. It would be difficult for us to have a guy like that because none of the players would respect him and no one would really listen to him / he wouldn't fit our culture. That's the biggest problem with Eric Bieniemy is I don't think he would fit our culture in Cincinnati. There's nothing wrong with him as an offense coordinator. He's a great offense coordinator. It's just the problem is he wouldn't fit our, situation possible. So that's, I would say, probably potentially no one. Thomas Brown, Panthers offense coordinator. He is an extension of the Kyle Shanahan / Sean McVay coaching tree, which is really what's going to be his biggest thing here. He was the assistant head coach in 2021 and 2022. While also coaching running backs and tight ends. He first joined McVay in 2020 to coach running backs after 7 seasons in college. Potential free agents. Okay, we have Jim Caldwell, who was the Panthers' special advisor. So he's literally just what Pete Carroll is now. Pete Carroll went from head coach to like advisor role. So it's pretty much the same concept here. Kellen Moore? No. No. Hold up. So Kellen Moore was the Cowboys' offensive coordinator. They shipped him out of town. He goes to the Chargers to play with Justin Herbert as their offensive coordinator. Moore is a star, but his availability will be determined by what happens next with the LA Chargers, who fired Brandon Staley in December. Moore did his best work in Dallas. He coordinated the league's top offense in the league in 2019 and 2021. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. If he's available, it would not be a bad idea to go with Kellen Moore, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I don't know why, just like, I've heard horror stories. Maybe I watched GPS too much. But, okay, Kellen Moore, potential play callers. Darrell Bevel, Dolphins quarterback coach / passing game coordinator. We have Marcus Bailey, Eagles senior offensive assistant. Brian Callahan. Hey, that's our boy. Yeah, he's actually, like, technically available. Now, keep in mind that if someone interviews him as a head coaching job, we cannot say no. Like, we cannot say no. But if someone goes ahead and interviews him as offense coordinator, we can actually reject that. We can say, no, you cannot interview him as offense coordinator, but we have to accept it if it's head coaching job. Just a little side note. Clint Kubiak, 49ers passing game coordinator. That would not be a bad idea. Because Brock Purdy looked freaking good. How was Mike Shanahan's scary Kubiak's tree? This is where Kyle Shanahan tree is rooted. Clint Kubiak was hired by his father in 2016 with the Broncos and was trained by Vance Joseph. He joined his father in Minnesota as a Vikings quarterbacks coach in 2019. He was assistant head coach under Mike Zimmer and Kevin Stefanski and was the offense coordinator. Yeah, I wouldn't be against the idea. Really wouldn't. About going with him. Matt LaFleur, Rams offense coordinator. Zach Robinson, Rams passing game coordinator / quarterbacks coach. Frank Smith, college connections. Cliff Kingsbury. Okay. And that's actually the last player on this list here. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think we're going to go Dan Pitcher. If I had to select one off the top of my head, I'd probably go Kevin Moore. Kellen Moore, just because of the fact he was very successful in Dallas. Although the biggest problem I feel like with him was that they always said he wouldn't open up the offense for Dak. And if we don't open up the offense for our quarterback, for Joe Burrow, that's going to be a problem. I like this Brian Callahan guy, though. I think he's a really good fit for us. I'm joking. But again, like I said, if we do lose Brian, I would probably go Kellen Moore. Maybe Cliff, not Cliff, where was it? Probably Clint, Kubiak, potentially. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's Dan Pitcher. I think we're going Dan Pitcher no matter what, and I think that's pretty much what we're going to go with. Thank you guys for watching, though. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.